Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading, we'll be doing a weekly reading for the energy surrounding us during the week of Monday, November 27th through Sunday, December 3rd. For the reading, I'll be pulling three cards from the Good Tarot deck. This is by Colette Baron-Reid, plus one additional card from the bottom of the deck for the overall energy for that week. And I'll pull one additional lesson card from the Soul's Journey Oracle card deck by James von Praagh. If I need to clarify anything, I will either use the Sibila cards or the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. Again, just to remind everybody, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate with you. In order for you to get a personalized reading focusing on your life and what's going on specifically in your life right now, you would need to get a private reading. If you're interested in one of those, please check out my my site. That is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. You can also email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. Right, so let's get started here. I have already shuffled off camera. I have already meditated on the decks, but I will give the cards a couple more shuffles before we get started. So Spirit, what do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us during the week of November 27th through December 3rd, 2017? What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us during the week of November 27th through December 3rd, 2017? Please show us the energies for the week. What are the messages we need to hear for the week of November 27th through December 3rd? November 27th through December 3rd. What are the energies? What are the messages for this week? Okay, divide up the cards. And we have the first card that came out in the past position is the Five of Air. This would be the Five of Swords in the traditional deck. Followed by the Page of Water. And in the future position, the Lover's card. This is Major Arcana number 6. It's called Love in this deck. And the card at the bottom of the deck, for the overall energy for the week, we have the Page of Fire. Beautiful card. This would be the Page of Wands. Okay, and one additional card from the Soul's Journey deck. Spirit, what additional message do we need to hear for the week of November 27th through December 3rd? What are the energies surrounding us? What do we need to hear? One additional message for the week. Okay. The card is Adversity. It says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Let me hold that up so you can see the card. And we'll see how this ties in with our reading. Let me just set everything up and I'll be right back to get into the reading. Alright, I set everything up. I do want to I want to pull a couple of cards on this Five of Air. Especially because, you know, we have this Adversity card over here, which kind of goes along with this. Let me pull that before we get into the reading. So Spirit, what additional messages do we need to hear on the Five of Air, the Five of Swords? Please clarify the Five of Air in this reading. What do we need to hear? Okay, and we have on the Five of Air, Melancholia, which is melancholy. Followed by sorrow, dispiacere, and Gran Signore, the Lord. Okay, hold on, let me put those there, and then let me pull also from this deck, from the Crystal Visions Tarot deck, just a message to clarify the Five of Air. What do we need to hear? Why is the Five of Air, the Five of Swords here in the reading? What else do we need to know about this Five of Swords? Divide the deck. Okay. And we have the Knight of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Page of Wands, which is interesting because we have the Page of Wands as the overall energy for the reading. So it's interesting that it came out as a clarifier as well. Okay. All right. So first of all, let me start off with the Page of Fire, which is our overall energy for this week, for the last week of November, heading into the last month of the year, right, December. So the Page of Fire, this is wands, right, or fire energy, which is all about action and turning our intentions into action. So it's a suit that deals with creativity, creative projects, our work, sort of initiative, like our drive, our passion, what we get excited about, right? If this is our work or, a new career, something along those lines. So it's all about passion and ambition and motivations getting turned into action, right? And the Page of Fire comes into, this is the youngest of the court cards. So if this is a person, this would be typically a younger fire sign male, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be male, because we see in this deck is portrayed by a young girl. So this could be, a child of yours, or a fire sign child. This could be having to do with children, or this could, since it's immature energy, this could just be a younger fire sign. If it is, it would, could be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. But again, it's interesting because that fire sign, the Page of Wands, appears right here in the clarifying cards. But it's a card that brings in a lot of, enthusiasm, a lot of sort of adventurous energy, beginnings, right? Acting on new ideas, beginning new projects, sort of following those ideas. So whatever thoughts you came up with from this suit of swords or air, this is actually moving on it, right? But it's the beginning of that. So it's the beginning of something that's going to bring in, quite a lot of excitement and happiness. And this could be, with the court cards, we know that they can manifest as people that we are dealing with. They can also manifest as events or situations, or they could just be the energy that we are taking on, right, during this week. So this might be you feeling, very inspired, feeling more creative, having new ideas, new projects, having the strength to sort of move ahead, really, move forward with whatever that new thing is. If it's a person, this is typically somebody who thinks outside of the box, really, looks towards these new ventures and ideas with a great amount of excitement and enthusiasm, right? But it's a very young and unharnessed energy, right? Very powerful, great creative vision, but still, sort of at the beginning, not yet, hasn't progressed along, right? We need to kind of work on it still. So as that is the overall energy for this week, let's take a look at this first card that we have, which is typically it's not the best of cards, right? The Five of Air, or the Five of Swords in the traditional deck. And again, air energy is energy of our thoughts. So this is cerebral energy. So it's, our thoughts, the results of our thinking, where our thoughts can lead us, and how our thoughts and our mind and our attitudes can sort of push us through life and, affect the relationships that we have, the decisions that we make. It's a card also that the Sword of Suits has to do with communication. Now, the Five of Air, or the Five of Swords, is a card that has to do with tension and conflict, of other people, or having to deal with other people who have different ways of thinking, right? They might challenge you, but they might not be in agreement with you. Which is interesting because, we have this card of adversity over here, which is all about, not people not seeing eye to eye with you, right? And learning to sort of face and step up to the challenge, learning to deal with those challenging situations when they arise. And this is a card that, yes, the Five of Air, it is a difficult energy, right? It does, sometimes it has to do with betrayal, or somebody who cheats and kind of uses an unfair advantage to win in some way, right? In the traditional deck, it's depicted, there's a woman who is, or in one, I'm sorry, it's not the traditional deck, it's in this deck, in the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. There's a woman, and she's represented by, three being stabbed in the back. She has three swords in her back, while, the assailant is kind of taking off. I'm sorry, two swords, I think, and then, taking off with some swords. But the idea is that, the other person has won. There's a victory of sorts, but at what cost? And that's the, kind of what we are asked when this card appears. So if this is somebody else who has done this to you, it's like, at what cost? Yes, they won the battle, but, they might have done so, by hurting you, or if this is you, then you might have, hurt somebody else. And even though you might feel pleased with the victory, or the person might feel pleased, there's that kind of feeling of needing to look back, kind of reevaluating, thinking that maybe we did something wrong, right? Stopping to really contemplate how we achieve that victory. And the cards, when I pulled them, I decided to pull from both decks here for the clarifiers. So with these three cards, the Melanconia, Dispiacere, y Gran Signori, we have it definitely makes me, or it tells me that there's some type of, of great sorrow, some type of conflict, right, with this Five of Air card here, that has brought sorrow to your life, and it's involving this Lord, this man, right? And there is a man who also appears here in these three cards that I pulled on it, which is the Knight of Wands, which is also fire sign energy. This could be sort of a middle-aged, I usually think of it as being a 30 to 40s, year old person. Doesn't necessarily have to be male, once again, but typically, this would be a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius male, which kind of goes along with this Lord right here. Something to do with a happy home, because the Four of Wands card is kind of the happy home and family, the happy home card. There's a stability around this card, and you see the couple, right? This loving couple here. And then this Page of Wands on the outbound, right? As is the last card of the three clarifiers. And again, that's the card that we have here as the overall energy. So I do get that there is something to do with some type of conflict, possibly with either an air sign or a fire sign male, I think, that has brought in quite a bit of sorrow, right? It's you could have been in a stable relationship with this person. You could have been possibly married to the person, but something has happened here that has brought about, quite a bit of sadness and melancholy sort of feelings into your life. Typically, the Knight of Wands, who we have here in the first position, this Knight of Wands moves very quickly. It's fire energy, so it's sort of the quickest of all of the knights, right? And he kind of charges in. He's somebody who is usually quite confident, full of life, kind of passionate, right? But sometimes he can act sort of too aggressively, or too, kind of come in too quickly. But I do get that, there's a male energy that I'm getting off of this. So this could have been a conflict, something involving this male fire sign. But what we have in the middle position is this page of water, which is beautiful. It's a, we know that pages, much like we have the page of fire over here, we also have newness, something new coming in with the page of water. Water energy has to do with cups. It's our feelings, our emotions, also intuition. The page, again, is the youngest of the court cards, so could be a child. And you see that they're actually portrayed here as children. So this could be a child. Or this could just be a younger water sign. That's quite possible as well. Could be a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But it's somebody who, who kind of comes in. Usually pages bring messages. They're usually the ones with the ideas, with the messages, and then the knights come in to act on them. So this could be some type of romantic message. This could have to do with could be a new offer of love, somebody bringing in a new offer of love. If there has been some type of conflict over here with this, the Page of Wands, there could be this new offering coming in. Or if it's not of love, it's some type of offering or something new that is going to bring great emotional happiness, great fulfillment to your life, right? With the water, as it's the Page of Water, typically we think of it as being, this new offering of love or something to do with that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? It can just be something that makes us feel very happy, right? It's to do with feelings. So it could just be, feeling very good about something. But a lot of times it does have to do with the beginning of a new relationship, whether, usually it's romantic in nature. At times it could have to do with a possible new birth or hearing news of a pregnancy or news of a new birth. This is, if it's a person, this person is, is a messenger, somebody who's very open, very honest to heartfelt communication. So, if that's the case, or if this is you taking on this energy, you could be feeling more open-minded, more receptive to new opportunities coming in. And what we have is the outbound energy is the 6, or in the major arcana, number 6, the Lovers. In this deck, it's just referred to as the Love card. And this card it's all about oneness. It's about, how when we find that true love, we're kind of reflections of one another, right? So, when we see ourselves in the other person, or when we, look at the other person in a loving way, as opposed to being, an adversary, we kind of see them for who they are and try to really tap into, that person and that person's energy. Then, we kind of realize that we are reflections of one another, right? Many times when we think of making choices, we kind of think of things as, is it's an either or kind of thing, right? Because we know the Lovers card is also associated with choices and needing to make that, head or heart decision. Is also associated with that, with making choices. But it's also to do with, loving connections with other people, most of the time romantic in nature. Sometimes we think of it as, it's the soulmate card, so that deep soulmate connection with another person, really seeing yourself in that other person, and just understanding that, together you are stronger than, you alone. So it's that type of energy. But it's all about giving and receiving love. When you choose to be more open. So if after coming through with this Page of Water, choosing to be more open to things, it's, it does seem like there is some type of either choice to be made, or there's a new relationship coming in. It looks like there's staying power with it, right? It's a very powerful, it's a major arcana card. And with this adversity card as the additional message, let me just read you the meaning. I usually like to read from the guidebook for the oracle cards, and then I'll kind of tell you how I see the message playing in or tying in with the rest of the reading. So we have adversity, and this card says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. No one said life was going to be easy. Obstacles are presented to you so you may overcome them. Believe that you will, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Confidence comes to those who have succeeded in conquering adversity, and then the next hurdle won't seem as daunting. Adversity is an opportunity for you to reach out to your soul family. You are not alone in this time of challenge. If you need help, others are waiting to offer assistance. This test may have come into your life to teach you rather than to give hope. I'm sorry, to teach you to receive rather than to give. Don't know where I read hope there. Apologize for that. Right. So, if we look at the cards here, and especially, with the cards that I pulled as clarifiers on this Five of Air, I believe that, this card, the adversity card, comes in to just sort of remind you that things are, sometimes things can be difficult, and we're faced with these difficult, challenges, and people thinking differently than we do, and coming up against these challenges. And this could, but it doesn't mean it's easy. They can bring, quite a bit of sadness to our life. But it doesn't mean that, things end here, right? There are new opportunities coming in for you. You have this beautiful page of water here. We have new energy over here with the page of fire. And then we have this beautiful soulmate connection over there. And, like I just read, it said that adversity is an opportunity for you to reach out to your soul family. So I do feel like there is some type of soul connection coming in, but you're moving away from, you can see that she's flying in the air, but she's heading towards this, right? She's kind of facing things head on here, and she's moving forward. So she's not looking back now, right? So she's looking to these new things. So I think that whatever this was, and I do believe that it had to do with either an air sign, possibly, or a fire sign, whatever this was, male, that did leave you feeling very, sad, very down. If that person deceived you in some way, kind of broke that stable foundation that you had with that person. There are new, beautiful possibilities coming in. And as this is, tied to the Lover's card, this soulmate connection, it's definitely something that is going to be more in line with, who you are, or the person you are working to be, And so if this is somebody from the past, then just know that these difficult situations do arise many times to teach us lessons, right? And so we might have dealt with this complicated situation, this difficult situation, but just, trust in the fact that we learned what we needed to learn here. We're moving forward. We have new things coming in, and there's a very beautiful, loving relationship that it looks like. So, if this is a person, this could be, it could be a Leo, so another fire sign, doesn't necessarily have to be. But as far as, people, I know that many times people watching the readings, that they're looking out for the court cards for people possibly around them. So it could be a fire sign. We have air energy here. We have water energy. So no pentacles energy. So no earth energy here. But we do have the other three suits. So lots of possibilities there as far as people go. But I do see new things coming in, and things that are going to bring you greater joy and bring more love, and it's a more soul connection that you have coming in. So I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way. Please be looking out. I will be posting in the month of December, besides the December general readings and the mid-monthlies. I'll also be posting an additional message for 2018. So focusing on the energies surrounding us during each month of the upcoming year, and that will be for each individual astrological sign. So be watching out for that as well. And just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light. Bye.